Alright, which questions on the chart right do we want to see you go over, have questions about? I don't see many hands. Oh, is this really? I see a lot of 2s and 3s. If you have something other than 2 and a 3, keep your hand up. If you had a 2 or a 3, put your hand down. Oh, it looks like 4 won that one. So 2, 3, and 4. We'll do those 3. For number 2, you have to find the line of best fit. You can do that in the calculator or in Desmos. Desmos would probably be more preferable because it's easier. Make a table. So you should have tried this in your on your laptops. You can put in those order pairs. And then looking at those points, I can type in my line of best fit equation, my y1, this squiggly line, the tilde, mx1 plus c. And I'll be given my slope and my y-intercept, and I could write those down for my line of best fit. Y equals negative 0.423 x plus 3.09. You should have at least 3 decimal places. If you have 2, keep going. If you have more than that, that's fine. Questions on that one? And then for number 3, given an equation that's perpendicular to this given equation. So if I were to type this in, 2x minus 3y equals 6. Then I can look at my slope of this line, which is 2/3. And then if it's perpendicular, I have to take the slope, flip it, and make it negative. So if I have y equals negative 3 over 2, x, you can pick whatever y-intercept you want. So it could be the same, it could be different, it could be 0. You pick that y-intercept. And that would be your answer. On that one. And then number 4. If I were to combine the terms, so I'll show this algebraically. I feel like I have done this in Desmos, but I'll show you how to check this off in Desmos also. So this would be 12x plus 6 minus 2x plus 6 plus 15x minus 3. And then combine the terms. So this would be 10x plus 15x. Yes.
The one on the paper says negative 3 times 4x.
Okay. That might have been a typo. Sorry. So then that would be negative 14 plus 15 would just be 1x. So this would have been a negative 6. And that would be, those would cancel, just leaving the point. in the original and I typed this in with capital X's and made some yours doesn't. Okay. Some of them do, some of them don't. Okay. So for those that don't, or those that did, and then I added a slider and just changed the value, but then also put in the number, the expression we just found. You can change this to whatever you want, but as long as these numbers stay the same, you know you did that right. And that would work for if the negative wasn't there also. But this wouldn't work, so if I just took this negative off, these are going to be two different things because everything is now switched. So just keep that in mind. Right, questions on that? Take out your system of inequality notes.
Yes.
And we're going to start on this page. Actually, not those ones, but the other ones. You will need another copy of those.
Can I have another copy, please?
Should I get one?
Thank you. I have that. Never mind. I just didn't know what that was. Thank you.
March.
Oh wait, I found it.
Yeah, because I used this stuff, so okay. The missing words are overlapping region. And from this point forward, were there any questions we wanted to see you go over or have questions about? So on this page, on the next page, on the next couple of pages.
One and six.
1 and 6. As a reminder, do this in either 2 separate colors, 2 different writing utensils, or 2 different shading directions so I can see the overlap, or you can highlight the overlap. in 1 and 6, they both need solve, so we can do that simultaneously. Get rid of x for both. So for the first one, it would just be y is now greater than negative x minus 1. For the second one, I have negative y is greater than negative x plus 5, and I have to get rid of the negative. What happens when I divide by negative 1? The sign flips. So this is now y is less than positive x minus 5. And then graph those two. Does not matter which one you do first. Make sure you have points all the way through your graph. Build up your graph with slope points. Would this one be dashed or solid? Actually, both of them. Would they both be dashed or solid? Yeah. Dashed, because they're both not equal to. Instead of putting little tick marks between each one, you could just leave it dotted. And then would this be shaded above or below?
Below.
And then the other one is going to start at -1. The slope is negative. Also dotted or dashed. Shaded above or below? So I didn't do the arrow trick, but remember, if you're not sure which direction, look at the y-intercept, draw an up and down arrow, and that will tell you which direction. And the overlapping is going to be this section right here. Questions on that? Aiden, did you just do this? Okay, moving on to number 6. Same thing, solve both. So I'm going to, again, do that at the same time. Subtract 6x. And subtract 3x. And then divide the first one by 4 and the second one by -4. Make sure you change the direction of the sign. And then go ahead and graph both of those. Are these going to be dashed or solid? Dash. This one would be shaded above or below this purple one. What direction are we shading that? If it's less than, look. So that would be underneath. And then for the other one, we're starting at positive 3. The slope is negative 3 over 2. That was also dotted or dashed. Shaded above or below. Above for that one. So above, that would be everything to the right. So that overlapping would be here. Do you have any questions in general about our systems of inequalities? You guys are going to do an activity and you're going to turn it in. And then afterwards, you can grab your review, work on Delta Math, or work on your SOL practice. But everyone's going to get something like this. It's going to have 2 little sheets on it. On the front, you're going to have 3 columns, but 2 of them are from your little squares right here. One says info about the graph. The thing of 8, you're going to put there, blue or tape. And then the write the inequality, that's from your little 4 squares. You're going to figure out which of those it is and blue or tape that. And then you're going to write 3 points that would fall in this shaded area, that would be solutions. Then on the back, you're going to graph the given inequality and then kind of do the same thing. Find which of the 8 are the info about the graph. And then write 3 points that would fall in the shaded area. Questions about those directions? Okay. So when you get one, you can start, you can work together, you can use Desmos and your calculator to double check yourself. You are going to turn it in when you're finished. Your review is right here when you're finished to grab that. If you have questions, let me know as I'll be walking around. There are scissors and glue sticks in the back.